This week in Jamaica Now, shock as an 8-year-old girl is abducted from school and left for dead with her throat slashed. It's round 2, the Integrity Commission versus members of the Andrew Holness administration. A frustrated Usain Bolt is contemplating talking to international media about his SSL case. And heavy rains damage crops and roads in southern Jamaica. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. Detectives from the St. Catherine South Police Division spent much of Friday at the Brayton Primary and Infant School in Portmore investigating the case of an 8-year-old girl who was reportedly abducted from the institution and left for dead on Thursday in St. Andrew. The police report that the child was taken from school, her throat was slashed and she was thrown from a vehicle in Vineyard Town in St. Andrew. The child is being treated. Former Minister of National Security Peter Bunting says his confidence in the Integrity Commission has been restored after the anti-corruption body exonerated him from accusations of acting improperly in the issuing of firearm licenses. The agency released an addendum to a 2022 report declaring that Mr. Bunting's actions in approving recommendations for gun permits for 2 persons were above board. The 2022 Integrity Commission report had slammed Mr. Bunting and his successor Robert Montague of the ruling JLP over the approval of gun licenses to persons of questionable character. Both men had protested, with Mr. Bunting saying he acted based on recommendations, while Mr. Montague said he exercised his discretion allowed under the law. The Integrity Commission said there was no other reason to review its report, and Mr. Montague issued a stinging rebuke in the House of Representatives on Wednesday.
Madam Speaker, in April 2022, I made a public statement which was carried in both nationally circulated Sunday papers. The Integrity Commission would have seen or read that public statement. There was a deafening silence then. There was no review of the report then. But another public statement is made and the Commission tables an addendum. What? It's like there is one rule for some and another for we country. Madam Speaker, this demonstrates bias, malice, and prejudice.
Absolutely.
This demonstrates that the investigative process of the Integrity Commission is unfair or biased and shows a lack of even-handedness as they act differently in certain circumstances depending on which person is being investigated.
They have no credibility.
And the government has turned up its criticism of the country's main anti-corruption agency, the Integrity Commission. Members of the administration have been upset about the Commission's handling of a conflict of interest report involving Prime Minister Andrew Holness in February. And at a parliamentary sitting on Wednesday, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck gave one of the clearest articulations of the government's position on the Commission.
The Integrity Commission needs to get its act together. It is clearly acting in a manner which has been perceived by the people of Jamaica as not being fair. And the sooner it gets its act together, the better for Jamaica. And if it can't get its act together, it is time for them to take action in the interest of the Jamaican people, because the people of Jamaica and this Parliament, certainly on this side of government, don't have trust and confidence in its report. When it can publish a report and a year later revise it, and at the same time not comprehensively revise it, what is happening, Madam Speaker? What is happening? What is the equity in revising a report when you do it for a member but not another member? Madam Speaker, the Integrity Commission needs to apologize to the people of this country for its behavior.
The debates over the Commission's behavior comes as Parliament reviews the Integrity Commission's law. However, opposition leader Mark Golding has signalled he will not support any move by lawmakers to curtail the powers of the anti-corruption body.
I think it's important that individuals be treated with fairly. And where the Integrity Commission transgresses in that regard, I expect them to correct that in an appropriate manner, as they have done with this addendum. To the extent that the member for St. Mary Weston feels he has not been treated fairly, I expect him to put the material before the commission, which would put them in a position to adjudicate that matter, and they can respond accordingly. But it is important that the Integrity Commission see fairness as part of what is their mandate. On the other hand,
go ahead, finish.
On the other hand, anything to do with reducing their powers, curtailing the scope of their investigatory mandate, their prosecutorial mandate, will not have my support. I am very much in favor. Much in favor of that institution being empowered to do its work.
In a statement on another controversy over why cabinet ministers, including Prime Minister Holness, have not signed a code of conduct, the Integrity Commission said it will not be frightened or intimidated to act in any way that it says is contrary to the public interest. Some 20 children were removed Wednesday following an operation at the Beit Yahweh religious compound in Paradise, Montego Bay. The operation was led by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency and the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse. Head of the St. James Police, Senior Superintendent Vernon Ellis, says the operation was prompted by concerns over alleged breaches in education and health. He says a fire department inspection found electrical bridges, among other issues. Residents of Paradise have accused the authorities of being slow to respond to fears of child abuse and other infractions at the complex. Sports legend Usain Bolt is reportedly contemplating sharing his story as a victim of the alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited with international media. His attorney Linton Gordon says the Jamaican star is extremely concerned that he has not been getting timely updates from the authorities on the probe into the reported $2 billion fleeced from an account owned by one of Mr. Bolt's companies.
I think it would have a devastating effect on the financial sector here in Jamaica. It would bring about a level of mistrust, suspicion, and a belief that the government is incapable of protecting depositors at financial institutions in Jamaica. And this is precisely why, to his credit, he's a nationalist. He's committed to Jamaica, and he has restrained himself from giving these interviews. Interviews have been requested from the major news entities in Europe, in Japan, in Australia, in North America. And we looked at the situation and we said, let's give the government time in the interest of Jamaica land we love.
Mayberry Investments Limited confirmed Tuesday that it was a victim of a cyber attack. The investment firm says it has not experienced any disruption as a result of the attack and is seeking to assure clients that their financial portfolios have not been compromised. The Jamaica Rifle Association has suspended all activities at its Mountain View Avenue range in St. Andrew following the revocation of the dealer license of its president, Major John Nelson, who has since resigned. The Gleaner reported Thursday that Mr. Nelson could face several charges, including illegal possession of a firearm, after an investigation concluded that he was in possession of a high-powered rifle without a permit. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says he expects to have a preliminary estimate of the damage to farms and farm roads from heavy rainfall this week in St. Elizabeth and Manchester. The ministry says it has dispatched assessment teams from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority to both parishes to evaluate the extent of the damage and identify the immediate needs of affected farmers and communities. Mr. Green says a number of farmers have suffered losses, especially to crops like tomato, melon and escallion in the areas of Duff House, Comapen, Bull Savannah and Ballards Valley. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on the notification and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, an appeal from a family of 12 after their home was destroyed by fire in the community of Kildare in Portland on June 4.
I got a call on Sunday that there's a massive fire in Buffalo. I waited, and when I got response, I was told that the Gillespie family is out of a dwelling. 5-bedroom home has been destroyed. 12 persons are without roof over their head. It is heartbreaking. It is sad. It is difficult for the family. What we have done from the People's National Party standpoint is to get some assistance to start the foundation of the building for them.
I would be grateful
if it happens speedy and a speedy process, because we don't have anywhere to go. Don't have anywhere to go. It's just we, the one family.
I've been here from Sunday night, so we try to do our best with them.
How many of them?
12 of them. It's a large family.
So they were here worshiping during the fire?
During the fire.
Unknown to them?
Unknown to them.
Oh.
So how have it been for them so far, knowing that it's 12 of them? How has it been for you?
It is very rough, because I said it's me have to be there for them. And as you can see, they are very sickly. You know, at time, even the mother, she's very sickly. The other one, little more, she passed out on us, one of the daughter, because they traumatized. The fire that they see and everything, they lose everything.